you said systems are a big thing for you. What are some of those systems that you've built into the company to help everybody succeed and stay on the same page, and having, 5 or 6 different designers? How do we stay focused?
Yeah. Okay. This is, I have a layered answer to this. So how this all came about was after I read the book Clockwork by Mike Michalowicz. There was a kind of a challenge in the book that said, leave the office. I forget the length of time. I did a week the first time, and do not be available to your team, and have them record all the roadblocks that they came across in your absence, that required your presence to solve the problem. So I did that. I left. It was very stressful, and it was hard for me not to check into my email.
So you didn't check email, everything, you're just shut off. You're like on the moon.
Yes. And I had to, because I knew that we would be able to discover challenges that we would need to resolve. And so I came back, met with each individual on the team, and they gave me their list of, I can do this because you weren't here, or I couldn't access this because you weren't here. And that's when I began fixing the problems. And that's when systems were developed. So anytime something could be recorded or systemized so that it could be passed on to anyone at any time, I took on that challenge. And I would do it yearly. So this never stops. Even in year 7, I would go away for 2 weeks. That was my longest vacation. And I did not check in at work at all. And the goal is for the team members to be able to do the same. So the systems are not just important to the organization, but to each individual on the team. Yeah.
That's great. And for the getting into some of the details there, did you use like Loom or Trainual, or what's the tech stack that you used to record?
It's a combination of a bunch of things. We're using Notion currently, and that's for our administrative staff on the team. Anytime we have a request for something, we will just link the guide that is available on Notion. We also have an internal guide at House of Form for the designers specifically that is a step-by-step process. This one I would say is tied to systems and is probably one of the most important things, but anytime a new designer joins the team, we don't throw them into a project immediately. We actually give them a 2-week time frame with a mock project assigned to them, and they have to go through the entire House of Form process, which is also documented in our guidebook. And that allows them to figure out any kinks or any challenges they may have in the deliverables that they're putting together. That way, when they do start working with a client, we've worked through that already.
Yeah, that's great. And so when somebody comes on board, do they have a path for continued, mobility upwards in the company? Or so how have you set that up with your interior designers?
Absolutely. So I do quarterly reviews, but they're self-evaluations rather than me evaluating the team. And they have been so beneficial. So the team comes to the table with, 3 things they think they've succeeded at, 3 things that they believe they need to work on. And then I do have a series of questions just as a check-in on their mental health and wellness and passion for what they're doing. I also ask them what they want to work on, what's their dream project, and I start to seek that for them. Of course, if it's in alignment with House of Form and hospitality. But yes, just doing that allows them the self-motivation to grow, and I can give them the tools to assist them in that growth.